Before we begin, this episode is sponsored by Dojaland757. So why don't you guys go over there to his Instagram at Dojaland757 and check him out. He's currently doing a lot of cannabis events around Virginia Beach. So if you guys go over to his Instagram and check out the link in the bio to his Telegram, he'll let you know when and where he is and everything he's going to be doing and the list of the product that he'll be presenting at each pop-up that he goes to. Again, just go check out Dojaland757. Always remember, let them know that TokeTok sent you. The stories that will be told on tonight's podcast are from my paranormal experience. It's up for you to decide. And welcome to TokeTok After Dark. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of TokeTok After Dark featuring your host, The Wizard. What's up, guys? I know it's been a really long time. I've been going through some stuff. I had to get some stuff situated with everything with my house and stuff like that. But anyway, I am back and everything's rocking and rolling now. So tonight is going to be a redo of an episode that me and Mountain Man once did about a year ago. People's been asking me about what I experienced in Gettysburg. So I just decided to do another episode for them to explain some of the supernatural stuff that I and Mountain Man were part of in Gettysburg. So real quick recap. Gettysburg is where a decisive Union victory was during the Civil War. 3 days of it. And then, of course, it left it a paranormal hotspot. Over 50,000 people killed, and there's a lot of local lore in there that's that me and Mountain Man actually experienced. But it's crazy. All of these stories that I'm going to tell you real quick. I have video on our Instagram at TokeTok_radio. You guys can just scroll through there, and you can actually find the videos with all the evidence that you guys probably need from these paranormal experiences that we had together in Gettysburg. So we'll get right into it. Our first stop of our Gettysburg trip was Saxbridge. So real quick about Saxbridge. Saxbridge was the retreating point for the Confederate Army when they knew they lost Gettysburg. So that's the historical significance behind Saxbridge. But it takes us to our first story. If you go to Saxbridge and you cross it and you go all the way to the left, you'll be able to actually meet a pretty friendly ghost that actually interacts with you. His name is Tennessee. And a quick background on Tennessee: he was a free slave during the Civil War who actually liked to smoke his cigarettes and fish off of that bridge into what was once a big lake. Now it's like a reservoir now, but there was once a lake there. So that's where he did. No real information on how he died and stuff like that, but he was a free slave during the Civil War period. So what you can do is you can take a cigarette and you can put it on the bar. Like, just simply put it on the bar. And you can actually ask him to move the cigarette or take a hit of the cigarette. And like I said, we got it on video. Some of the best ones we have are he completely takes the cigarette and does a 360 without it falling off. Sometimes the wind will mess with it. So if it's a windy day, then it probably won't work, or just it won't make sense because of the wind and stuff like that. But he's friendly. And then sometimes it'll just be sitting up there, and legend says that his wife actually comes over there, and all of a sudden when he's interacting with you with the cigarette, all of a sudden it will flick, literally fly 10 feet. It's crazy. But as legend says that it's his wife who doesn't want him smoking, so she flicks it away. It's pretty intense. But one night I was there, and we were actually stumbled upon a ghost tour. So we were part of that. We were just observing and stuff like that. Well, I was standing over there with Mountain Man, and all of a sudden I smelled cherry flavored tobacco. So I asked the lady, like, hey, I smell cherry flavored tobacco. And she was like, oh, man. Well, everybody knows that Robert E. Lee's favorite tobacco was cherry flavored tobacco in his pipe. And everybody says that since it was his first loss, his ghost tends to visit there smoking his pipe as he was during the retreat of Gettysburg. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Another one is a little pathway that's right before you get on the Sachs Bridge. There's a little pathway to the right. And you go down a little ways, and we actually went down there as part of a ghost tour we did. And it was pretty interesting. We actually went there, and there's this tree there that's called the Death Tree. And there's a pretty elaborate story, and it's pretty morbid. So, children, close your ears. But a little bit after the Civil War, there was a lady who lived right up in Gettysburg, and she had actually married a Native American man. Well, the townspeople didn't like it. So one day, they just attacked him. They take the Indian man and put him in a bag at the foot of this tree and set him on fire. And then once he was extinguished, they took the wife and 2 small children and they hung them from the tree. So the legend behind the tree is that if you touch it, you will have an unfortunate ending, with the ghost hunter telling us a couple stories about people touching it and having a heart attack on the way back. One lady touched it during her ghost tour, and they were walking back, and she had fell and broke her neck. And it just gets crazier and crazier. If you go over to our Instagram, you guys can get the full interview with that ghost hunter. So we go from Sachs Bridge, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna move to a pretty scary bridge. And real quick, I need you guys to go there to Instagram at Doja_land. He switched it from DojaLand757 to Doja_land. So make sure you guys go over there and check him out, and follow him in the description, his bio, and click the link and get the link to his Telegram, and he will let you all know what event he is attending. And always remember, let him know that TokeTok sent you. So this one is nuts, and like, this bridge completely changed my mind on paranormal, ghosts, everything of that nature. So the actual name is the Eisenhower Bridge, and the local name is Suicide Bridge. Apparently a whole bunch of suicides has taken place per the community over the years, and it's just saying it's awful. I will not repeat the messages that were wrote on the bridge, so we'll just move on from the whole thing like that. But when you first pull up, it's the eeriest shit in the world. It's like lights can't penetrate this area. Like, you're just on your own type deal. It's amazing. So our first story happened off camera, and only 3 people witnessed it: me, Mountain Man, and my cousin. So we pull up. We kind of hesitate to get out, and we turn off the engine, keep the headlights on so we have something to look at. I'm talking about it's blackness out there. So Mountain Man gets out, my cousin gets out, and I get out last. Well, I get on and look at Mountain Man. He's like frozen, like sweat, dry sweat. I don't know how that happens, but dry sweat, cold. And he's just like, oh my goodness. That's like, look, oh my God. He's just like freaking out. It's stuttering words, everything. So I had happened to turn to my left, and right off the embankment of the road where we pull off of, there's this full apparition of an African American gentleman. He looks at us, he turns, and he walks down the road, and then right directly in front of us is a hill with some trees and a fence. He walks up the hill, walks right through the fence, and just walks through the field, and then disappears. Me, Mountain Man, and my cousin didn't know what to do. Like, we literally were like, there was no camera, so nobody's going to believe us. It was wild. So, it's up to you. I know it happened. I seen it. I'm not crazy. And it's up to you to believe or not. So we finally get the cojones to walk across the bridge, and right across the bridge is like a little tunnel of trees, and it just goes into a pathway, and it's pretty far back. It's not a mile long. And so we get in it, and there's literally no crickets, no nothing. It's just dead silent. And we're walking down the path, and this next story, you can actually go on our Instagram and look at the video of what happened. So you can watch everything that I'm about to say. About halfway through the path, we walk up and we see two red eyes about 4 foot from the ground, just chilling, looking at us in the middle of the pathway. And we're just like, oh my goodness. So we turn on the video camera, and we're watching this crazy shit happen. So me and Mountain Man start walking towards it like idiots. So we're walking towards it. About 15 yards before we get there, it stands up and is like 8 feet tall. And it's just like this black mass with red eyes. And it just walks into the woods to our right, because it's encased in trees, like wooded area on both sides of the pathway. So it just walks in there, and we just walk by. And where we walk by, it was really cold. And then Mountain Man's just staring into the woods. And it's sitting there about 20 yards off of us, just chilling there. And you can see it's 8 foot red eyes motherfucker just looking at us. And it was nuts. So we just continue on our way, just trying not to piss anything off. We turn around, and it's sitting down again in the middle of the thing, eyes 4 foot from the ground, just chilling. So we continue on our path. And we do our thing. We do a little flashlight trick to try and talk to spirits. I mean, it worked, but it didn't. So we really don't know what to do with that. But on our way back, we're walking. And all of a sudden, boom, it's there again. Stands up, walks into the woods. We pass it. Creepiest shit ever. I mean, it was nuts. It was... It was crazy. I really don't know how I feel about it. Sometimes I just believe it just wasn't true, and I just imagined it because I wanted it to happen. But when we looked at the film, it was true. And it was there, and it was really scary. I had a sense of, not fear, but like dread. Like all hope was... Like the cliche, like all hope was sucked out of the room. That's kind of how I felt. And it didn't harm us, I guess. And it didn't, I guess it was just trying to lure us into the woods, and then we would have been screwed. But we didn't walk into the woods, which was a good thing. So all that but the ghost, you guys can watch on our Instagram. We got that video still up. So hopefully you guys will take it easy on the comments and stuff like that. I'm not making any of this up. I believe this truly happened to me with this paranormal experience. And we actually got the best proof, and I saved it for last. Got a picture of what I assume to be a Confederate ghost on Sachs Bridge. And it's our most liked photo on Instagram, so you go over there and check it out. You'll definitely be like, oh, that's the picture, because it looks like a ghost. And we actually had it looked at by a couple ghost hunters and stuff, and they believed that it was the real deal. So pretty excited about that. But before we head out, I just want to let you guys know that TokeTok is going back on the road and heading back up the Gettysburg. They redid the park the last couple years, so I didn't really go because there wouldn't have been too much we could have done. Everything would have been shut down. But I am full and ready this time. I got some pretty good cameras, pretty good recording equipment to go in there. I'm going to have my uncle from Instagram over there on the fishing channel, the Swags fishing channel. He's going to be helping me this year in Gettysburg in July. So when we go out there, just I'll do a couple live Instagrams, a live podcast from out there featuring a couple of guests, my family. They have some fishing stuff and stuff like that. So I just want to promote them, get that out there. So expect that around July 17th for a crazy live show out in Gettysburg. And I will be filming every mark of the way. So it'll probably be a long ass video that I'll post up, but it will show everything that we did, to the mistakes, to getting hopefully some ghosts caught on camera for you guys. But expect that around July 17th, and hopefully you guys will tune in for that. And like I said, everything that I talked about tonight is up to your decision if it was true or not. In my heart of hearts, it happened. I wasn't imagining nothing. But just go over there to our Instagram on TokeTok _radio, and you guys can look at all the evidence for yourself and determine your decision on that. But until July, hopefully we get some good stuff for you guys to turn those non-believers into believers. But hopefully you guys enjoy this episode. Those were just some of the key stories on some of the stuff that I'm going to try and repeat and get better evidence on. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. The next episode coming out will be another 420 news. Virginia has a lot of changes, and I'm going to explain that for my 757 people. If you guys like this podcast and you guys want to listen to many podcasts like this, you guys can go over there to Spotify and all podcast platforms. Just type in TokeTok Radio. We are the only one. Check us out. Give us a like, follow, and share it to a friend that may be into this conspiracy, paranormal, scary stuff. And also, I have a custom story that I had commissioned for a creepypasta for this channel. So I'll start working on this in a few days, and hopefully it'll be out by next week. And guys, just pin that notification and it will pop up when it comes out. But next episode, 420 news, and hopefully you guys have a great evening. And always remember, keep your tinfoil hats and your bullets close. You never know what may happen. Peace, y'all.
This has been another episode of TokeTok After Dark.